Everybody? Back, are you back? 21 people are here. Everybody? Okay, I want to see some faces. Can I see some faces? There you go. Good. I got some coffee too. Everybody get some coffee. Keep going. All right. Yeah, where Veronica, where is she? Veronica, are you here?
Yeah, I'm right here. Can
Okay.
you see me?
What I want people to do, I want to break them up. How many people? We have 21. So in groups of 4, I would say 2 groups of 3. In groups of 3, that works, then you have 7 groups. In groups of 3, using the SMART goal setting acronym, make a list of your goals for today. In other words, I told you what my goals were. You tell me what your goals are for this particular section, for this lesson, whatever, and take about, I'd say probably 10 minutes, and one person will report from each group. Okay, Veronica, you're on. If you will divide people up into groups of 3.
Okay.
Professor, could be the groups of yesterday we 4 groups could be the same or no, in order that not to.
Well, I always like people to vary, but in the interest of time, maybe this particular one, let's have same groups of 3. We have 7, if I understand, we have 21 participants. Does that include you and everybody else? How many actual students are there? Veronica?
Okay, give me a second. Actual students, they are 21. Okay, they are 16.
16?
Yeah.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8, 9, 10. No, wait, give me a 21.
Says that you got 21 participants, but
15. Yeah, it could work.
that's perfect.
3
So
groups of 3. Yeah. Okay, participants. What I'm going to do is just open the 5 groups, and you are going to be able to look for do you have the names of the people that you work with?
talking to me?
No,
Yes.
no, I'm talking to everybody.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, you are going to look for the name of your partner and you are going to join with them. Okay?
Why you do 2 groups of 2 or groups of 3?
Group of 2 or 3.
Well,
I
2
think
is okay.
I
Two
think
is
we only
fine.
had about 2 groups of 3. So you just look for the name of your partner and you join with them. Okay?
5 groups.
Yes.
Okay. So
Here
your
we
job
go.
is to work with, remember what SMART stands for: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-based. And think about what your SMART goals are for this course. Or maybe, if you have to for today, maybe you have something to do before or after class, that's okay too. And take about 5 or so minutes, maybe 10 minutes. Okay, yeah, take 10 minutes.
Okay, ready?
Okay, ready. I'm going to make my group. Okay, we on with my group.
Do we put our groups in the
I'm
chat?
going to log out myself and I'm going to log in with my computer again, okay?
Could you make groups, break rooms for us to join?
Yeah, I'm breaking the rooms up. I'm creating 5 groups because you are 15. So only 3 people can be in each group so that all the groups are even.
Yes,
Okay.
that's good.
So there are 5 rooms and you decide where to, if I go in and I see that there are more people in one room, then I'm going to change you so that everybody has three members. Ready? Okay, here we
Yes.
go.
Professor Joanne, I just sent you a private message through the chat room. Could you please check it?
What?
I just sent you a private message through
Oh,
the chat
okay.
room. Could you please
Chat
check it?
message. Let me look at the
Mhm.
chat. Uh-huh, good question, Marisol. Okay. mhm. Good question, Marisol. All right. I'll write that.
Mhm.
Marisol,
Yes?
people do that all the time. They do. The only question is, can we have the computer project on the wall as well as here?
I don't know if they have that technology over there. Yeah, I don't think they do.
Check it out, but that's a
Yes,
good
yeah,
question.
okay. Okay.
How do I get into the groups?
So do I stop sharing?
Yeah, I mean, turn off my audio. And then how do we get it? Oh, here we go. What, did we turn off the, why need to quiet? Turn it off?
What?
How do I get into this group? Ah,
Alexander and Aristides, are you using cell phone? Alexander and Aristides?
Hi, Aristides.
Yeah, are you using a cell phone?
No, right now,
No,
no.
you're using a computer?
Yes, a
A
laptop.
laptop, okay.
iPad,
Okay.
an iPad.
Uh-huh. I think if you cannot see the 4 dots, you have to go at the end of the line, the bottom line. You're going to see 3 points. You need to touch there, and then you are going to see like a display. Look for unirse a grupo or join a group.
Okay, repeat, please.
Okay, at the bottom of your screen, you are going to see participants, chat, share slide, record, and you should be able to see 3 points. 3 points. If you touch at those 3 points, you are going to see a display of options. Can you see it?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I can hear you very well
touch.
because my Wi-Fi has problem.
Okay.
Let me check.
Okay, Alexander, are you using cell phone or computer?
I use cell phone.
Okay, your option is at the top left of your computer. You should see 4 dots together. Touch there, and then you are going to be able to join the group. Did you see it?
I don't have group.
Look at the 4 dots and touch there. You already have a group assigned. Look at the top left of your cell phone. You should see 4 dots, and under it, it should say unirse a grupo or join a group.
Veronica,
Yes,
where's the
Professor?
other list? I lost the list of it. I went in number 1. Where are the others? Under,
You have to open the 4 dots, break on rooms, and then you will see the display of the groups.
where's the breakout rooms?
4 dots, the 4 dots right beside record.
I've been in one.
Share screen, record, break on rooms. You should be able to see 4 dots. Between the icon of record and reactions. Can you see it? Ridikel o no sé quién está detrás de educación continua, pueden parar el recording, ponerle en pausa.
Déjenme comunicarle a la licenciada Edikel, profesora.
Okay.
Because, I mean, they don't seem to. Okay, thank you.
Improv. Okay, if they're not smart, what questions can you ask to make them smarter? Let me do the first one. To learn to speak fluent Finnish in 6 months when it is a new language to you. And the questions I would ask is, don't know any Finnish, right? Okay, how much time do you have to spend to, of the 6 months, are you going to be there every day? Or are you going to just spend a couple hours a week? The other question I would ask is, do you know any other language related to Finnish? Because sometimes that can help you. And then I would also ask, what do you mean by fluent Finnish? Is that able to have a conversation? Or does that mean that you want to be able to give a lecture? You want to watch the news? And this is speaking, so maybe you want to give a lecture, or you want to maybe talk online with people for orders. I don't know. So you need to be more, my friend, you need to be more specific. Until I know the answer to these questions, I cannot say that it is specific enough, because you haven't told me enough of the background. Okay, so that's the first example. And we have 4 more. I say in groups of 3, discuss your responses to these questions. Statements. I guess we'll need 10 minutes by the time you get in and out. How many groups do we have, Veronica? Hola, Veronica. How many groups do we have?
We can just send them to the same group that they were working in a while ago.
But how many?
There are 5 groups.
Okay, so groups 1 and 2 will do. Sorry, groups 1 and 2 will do items 1 and 2. 3 and 4 will do. Sorry, you can't do 1 and 2. Sorry, I'm getting confused. Let me start again. Let's see. The first, you have 5 groups. So
Exactly.
Groups 1 to 3 will do items 2 and 3. And groups 4 and 5 will do 4 and 5. Okay? You have 3 groups. The first 3 groups will do 2 and 3, and the other 2 groups will do 4 and 5. Is that clear? Okay, get into your groups.
No, it's not clear for me. It is not clear for me.
Okay, I will repeat the instructions. Group 1, 2, and 3 are going to work with question 2 and 3. Group 4 and 5 are going to work with question 4 and 5 of the assignment that is right on the screen. She is leaving out number 1, so there are just 4 numbers: 2, 3, 4, and 5. So groups, the same groups that were working before, 1, 2, and 3 are going to work with question 2 and 3, and the group 4 and 5 are going to work with question 4 and 5.
Okay,
Is that clear, Isabella?
Yes, I also have another question. What means TL?
Target language. Target language.
Okay.
Target
In
language.
other words, I'm using that as a second language.
Yes.
Any second language. I don't know which one they're trying to do, but it means second language.
Are you ready?
Yes, I also have another question. What do you mean in the last one with bias? Bias of a newscaster.
You know the term in Spanish, Veronica, bias? Sorry to put you on the spot.
Yeah,
Okay,
you put me on the spot.
okay. All right, let's do, all right. let me give you an example. If you are watching BBC, everyone knows BBC. We watch it fairly regularly. What we notice is that they usually portray or show bad things about Israel and good things about the Palestinians. So in other words, they're a favor de Palestine. They have a bias. Or let's take another example of bias. How about climate change? It's a big topic. If you are listening to a newscaster and they are for climate change, what will they do? They will give you research that shows that it's happening. And if
Yeah.
they're against it, right? Bias is for or against something.
Yeah, in Spanish we say parcializado. Okay.
Okay.
En español la
Partial
persona se parcializa con una tendencia y dice lo que él cree que debe ser en vez de decir lo que es, porque está parcializado y más nadie va a saber más nada sino lo que él dice, porque
Okay.
está parcializado con esa idea. Eso lo
Okay.
vemos mucho en política, ¿sí? Los
Sí,
políticos
es
están
una política.
parcializados con cierta idea, no te dicen la verdad, sino que con lo que ellos creen.
Yep.
Okay.
That's it.
They
Yes.
make it up.
Yeah, I guess.
That's what our problem, when we watch Fox News, and I hope none of you do, Fox News has a particular bias. And they're always creating the truth. That's our feeling. Okay, go
That
ahead.
happens in Panama too.
You understand?
Okay, are you ready for me to create the
Do your
groups?
thing.
Okay.
Yes.
10 minutes. Where are we? Okay.
Groups are created.
Veronica? You hear
Yes,
me?
tell me. Tell me.
Why does group 5 have 4 people and group 1 have 2 people?
Group 5. I don't know. Somebody just
Move?
yeah.
Okay, let's go to 5.
Hello, excuse me. Could you please return me to the first group? Because I don't know what I did that I'm here in the main room.
I can, okay. You are already in the first group. Or you connected with another one?
Sorry, Professor Veronica, can you please give me a hand to come back to my group? Group number 3, please.
Okay, let me ask Professor.
Yes.
Give me
Okay.
a second. Dr.
Okay,
Joanne?
okay.
Dr. Joanne? Dr. John?
Yeah, here I am.
Uh-huh.
Ay, me salí sin querer.
Can we give the participants a few more minutes because they are requesting?
Yeah, give them 5 more minutes, please.
Okay.
I think it's a good exercise. Everybody is learning something. And I will,
Okay.
I've been to 5 and 4, and I want to go see what number 3, 1, 2, and 3 are doing. Okay?
Okay. Uh-huh.
I'll go visit. Okay. Oh, number 3.
Adriana, are you okay? Do you need help?
She was with Ilka Riquelme. Now Ilka Riquelme is by herself.
Yeah, I know, because Adriana is right here in the main room.
Adriana, you have to go back to your room 3.
Karen Arango, are you all right? Karen?
She's supposed to join room 4.
No, Karen's supposed to join group 3.
Oh, room 3. Oh, yes, room 3. Adriana went back to room 4.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Karen.
Okay, very good. Yeah, I think the question, what I'm at, you know what?
Excuse me, are you requiring that they come back?
How many are back? Is everybody back yet or not yet?
No, they are still in the rooms.
Did you ask them to come back?
Okay, just give me a sec. Okay, they are going to be back now. Hello.
Hello.
Okay,
Hello, Professor.
good. Dr. John,
Yes.
they're back.
Okay, very good. The purpose of asking questions, let's say you taught students how to write SMART goals. And you explained, as I did, what they mean. And now you ask students to write their own SMART goals. The reason for writing questions, because what your instructions was, ask questions to make them smarter. In the case of novels, we're saying, how well do you know? And this is the point of asking the questions, is to help them understand what a SMART goal is and how to write them, how to create them. So that the student says, let me give you an example. I was working in Ecuador with some high school students, and I was teaching them about SMART goals. And they were high school students, and one of them says, my goal is to study medicine in Korea. What question would you ask a student like that? My goal is to study, this is for real. Say, my goal is to study Korean medicine in Korea. Anybody? What's your first question?
Do you know how to speak in Korean?
Perfect. Yeah. Do you know how to speak Korean? And the answer was no.
Wow.
And the other question I asked was, why Korean? Do you have any reason to go to Korea? Okay, you could also say, do you know anything about medicine? But that was it. So you want to be able to get the student to think about, is it specific? And we spent a lot of time on achievable. Achievable is a key word in all of this. You know, to read 10 novels in Japanese in 3 days, you would need to say, have you done it before? How quickly do you read Japanese? It's a difficult language. How much time within the 3 days? Have many hours are you going to read? Right? What is your experience reading novels in Japanese? Have you done it before? How long did it take you? And then the question, of course, of relevance. Why do you do this? I don't know. Somebody may have some idea of why they want to read 10 novels. Maybe they're in a literature class about Japanese, so they may need to do that for their course. Okay. The next one is to successfully pass the next test in the target language. Okay. So you have to ask them, well, first of all, how do you define success? And some of you said, how much do you know about the topic? Might ask, what strategies, what tools do you have to study? Work best for you? Would it work better for you to work with a peer and figure out what you're going to do? So achievable is a very key point. Okay, The job application is a fascinating one because it depends on the country. And as many of you know, some countries want a certain kind of style, others want a different style. Every company has a different culture. And you need to find out, what kind of a culture is it? When someone mentioned, suppose that that culture is working 7 in the morning to 7 at night. You need to know that. If you know that's the culture, you might say, I'm a workaholic. That would be a good thing to say. Actually, one of the questions sometimes they ask is, what's your worst trait? What's your worst trait? And you know what the best answer is? In other words, you're telling somebody something negative about yourself. You know what the best answer is? I'm a workaholic. That's what they want to hear. It's not negative. Their question. Okay, and relevant? Well, it could be anything. Relevant, it could be, I'm practicing, I'm in a course where I am in a business course and I'm learning how to write job applications. All right, or you could say, I want to get a job as an engineer. And I need to find out which companies, I have to do some research, and I need to be able to know about that company. And how will I know if it's a good job application? Because I've done the research and I know that it should have this format, it should have these items. That's measurable. Okay. And the last one was to determine the bias of a newscast. Anybody do that one? Did your groups do anything? Do it in your group? Bias has to do with, okay, how do you find out the bias? Anybody do that one? Well, biases have to do with preferences, or as you say, what was the word in Spanish for bias? What's the word you got?
Parcializado.
Huh?
Parcializado.
Okay, partial. You're partial.
Sesgo.
What is it?
Sesgo.
Sesgo?
In Spanish. Bias.
Uh-huh.
Sesgo.
Okay.
Like you have a preconcept about something. Is it or not?
Yeah.
I don't know the word. I'll have to look it
Yeah.
up.
Es parcializado, yeah.
Okay.
Sesgado.
So how would you determine? Well, imagine the question for this student is, bias is pretty clear, but how are you going to measure it? How are you going to know the bias? Anybody do that one? What kinds of statements make you understand that it is biased? You can tell. Do they, for example, only say good things about the topic or only say bad things about the topic? That's how you know if they have a bias. How are you achievable? Well, if you're reading or listening, you'll listen for those kinds of things. Is it relevant? Well, for me, I think I may have mentioned CNN. I'm sorry, not CNN, Fox News. I don't listen to Fox News. It drives me crazy because it's so biased. Okay? So I need to know what the bias is. And you can tell by, are they balanced? Do they have a bias is not balanced. If it's balanced, they say on the one hand and on the other hand. Okay, let me see where we are. Okay. Okay, I have lots, we have lots more to do, but I want to give you, oops, we have A lot more, we'll do it tomorrow. All right. Took more time. All right. All right. All right. Okay, well, let's do this one. Product or process.
Are you sharing screen?
Okay. Where are we? What's the problem? What are you doing? I see.
No se escucha.
Professor
Okay,
John.
she's not talking. She's not talking. I think she's going to share screen, I guess.
Oh, okay.
What's that?
No,
Are
we
you
were
going to share
not.
screen?
You know what I think? We need to work some more on smart goal setting because it's very important. So I think we have a whole, here, it was back here. Let me see if I can get back there. I don't know, but let's go back to product or process. Okay. Because what I think, all right. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Can you hear me?
Professor. Yes,
Yes?
Professor.
Yes, I can hear.
All right.
Yes, we're
What
here.
I want you to do, what I want us to do, I think the best thing is we spend so much time today on product and process, and we haven't gotten through goal setting, and that's very important. So let's do this little exercise, and what I want you to do is I want everyone to go back over their lesson plan and mark, look at what they did and say what's product and what's process. If you don't have any process, please add it. Revise it if you need to. But I want you to make sure you know that you have different, what you're doing is product and what you're doing is process. For example, which approach to teaching listening is a product approach and which is a process? And say why one makes the learner more self-reflective. If you give students vocabulary before a listening exercise, is that product or process?
Can you repeat, Professor, please, the question?
Look, I'm asking, look on my screen. They can't see the screen? Why not?
No, Professor, I
Because
can
you're
see
not
your
sharing
screen.
screen. You're not
What's
sharing
the
screen.
problem? Oh, all right. All right, let's see if we can do it. Can you see it now?
Yes,
Yes.
right now, I can see it.
Oh, technology will get you every time. All right, so here it is. Which approach to teaching is a product or process approach? Say why one makes a learner more self-reflective or self-directed. So here's the first one. Give students vocabulary before a listening exercise. Is that product or process?
That is a product.
Product, who said that?
Me,
Isabella.
Isabella. Yeah.
Okay. Why is it product? Are you helping them know how to listen?
No, you're just only sharing with them words, but
Now
not
you're just
teaching them how.
teaching them the words. Right, so they are not self-directed. Notice when you listen on the television or to anything on the radio, nobody gives you a list of vocabulary. So that doesn't make you more self-reflective, more self-managing. All right, the next one, give learners the title of a listening passage and ask them to predict what might happen when they watch it. Product or process?
Process.
Process.
Sure, because they are learning how to predict. That is process. Good job, everyone. So this one is give students a set of questions to listen for the answers to. Product or process?
Process.
When you go to listen to something, you don't have a set of questions, right? You're giving them the questions, so they don't have any, if you want to make it process, you say, here's the title, here's the subject, you write the questions. Then they've got a process. But in this case, you're giving them the questions, all they have to do is listen for the answers. That's product.
Okay.
Okay, so what I want you to do, as I say, because we spent so much time on product, and I want you to go back, everyone, over your lesson plan and mark it, every aspect of it, product or process. I want you to actually mark it in red or mark it in bold or some way, mark it as product or process. And if you don't have a process, and many of you do not have a process, I want you to add a process. Change, you need to change, if you need to change it, try to think of ways to make your instructions more about process and less about product. Okay, any questions?
Yes,
Professor, to make the change to the product or process in our lesson planning is a homework.
Yeah, the lesson plan that you did for yesterday, right? The lesson plan you did for yesterday, I want you to analyze it. Analyze it and mark it. What part of it is product? What part is process? And if you don't have anything process, change some of your product to process.
Okay.
Is that clear?
The same group because we work in group.
Okay, the same group.
According
Or
to the
maybe, no, I think what would be good, excuse me, what would be good, because this will give me more of an idea of who's understanding. So very good question, Alejandra. Each student, each participant, you do the homework. You take the lesson plan that you have developed with your colleague. Each one of you, see if you can change it so it includes some process. So individually. Other questions?
Okay, so do we have to change then? That was our first task. Now, when we meet again, and then do we have to upload or post it or submit it again?
Please upload it up. Please upload it and I'll look at it tomorrow morning. If you don't have time to do it tonight, it's okay to do it tomorrow morning. But upload it in the same place where you uploaded your first lesson plan. Each one of you will upload your revision. Any other questions?
So you want them to use the same document?
Yes. I want them to use the same document, although some of them don't. I mean, they're interesting lesson plans. For me, a lesson plan is a sequence, and some of them have them in a chart, and that doesn't really give me what they're going to do first and what they're going to do next. May I remind you that when you are teaching process, that you need to provide an example, provide a model, explain why it's important. So as you revise your lesson plan, I want you to include so that they know what, if you want to say, I want you to predict the vocabulary before, give them an example. This is a tool you can use, and you tell them this is a tool you can use to help you listen. And what the tool is to predict the word that will be used, or might be used in this video, this clip, listening clip. And I want, before you listen, I want you to predict. And the reason you do that is that it will help you listen more carefully, because you may, depending on the words you get what we call a schema. Schema is a picture of the whole thing. Okay? Other questions?
Yeah, are you going to return today's assignment? I mean, because
Oh, I'm not going to return it.
Then they will have to do it in a new document, because for them to be able, it's just that for them to be able to work on yesterday's page, you have to return it to them. So what I'm going to do is to reassign a new document for them to copy and paste and do what you want.
Okay. Thank you for the logistic help.
Excuse me. So we must. Okay, we taking into account the same document. We must taking into account this document, we must fill the chart of our planning with this, taking into account this information. Yes, so we have to do it again. Some things. Well,
for some cases, maybe you might want to do it again. But remember, I explained how people normally teach strategies is that you give an example, you talk about why it's important, how it could be helpful, and then you get the students to practice it. And I don't think anybody elaborated that much. Isabella, I see.
Yes, I have a question for Professor Marisol.
For Marisol.
Yes,
Okay,
could you please cut and turn off your mic because there's no. Yes, Professor Marisol, because I uploaded yesterday a new document that it wasn't the one that you provided. So I actually anulated the submission, and now it appears like entregado con retraso. So can I just work like in the document that you just provided, or? Because I submitted yesterday's homework on time, but now that I try to edit it, it appears like with con retraso. So we would just provide a new document, Professor Marisol? If you're talking, you're muted, Professor.
Oh, yes, I said a whole bunch of things. Thank you, Isabella. Okay, I was explaining why the okay, it appeared as a late submission. It's just that, I mean, since Professor Rubin said that you had to submit it by lunchtime, I set an hour for it. But anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload a new Google Doc for task 2, so that you will be able to copy from the old one and paste, okay, on the new one.
Okay, just for you to know that I uploaded that on time, but I edited it and now it appears like it's late. But
because you edited it late after the after the time of submission, but it doesn't matter. It is there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to re-edit the hour. Okay, so so I'm going to submit a new document, but I need to be clear on the instructions, Professor Rubin. The instructions are like considering your first task. What do they have to do considering their first task?
What do they have to do?
Yeah.
What they have to do is revise it.
Okay.
At the very least, they need to mark what they're calling product a product approach and what's a process approach. And if it doesn't have any process, they have to add some. It is, they have some process, they need to think about how they are going to present it. Because I mentioned today that when you introduce a new strategy, you need to model it with an example and explain why it's important. And you need to name it. This is the name of the strategy, so we can do it more than once. So
Okay,
everybody,
okay, let me okay, just to be clear. We have to revise it and think what is product and what is process. If you don't have process, you have to add the process. Is that it?
they have to add a process. Right, and if they have a process, they need to introduce it in a more explicit way. Some people had words that sounded like process, but they didn't introduce it so that the students could understand what the name of it was, why it was important. And then they would practice. They need opportunity to practice it.
Excuse me, so that is like we.
And then they need to up Marisol, then they need to upload it so I can review it.
Okay, so considering your first task, revise and think of what is product and what is process. If you don't have a process, you have to add one. If you have a process, if you have a process, work out a way to make it understandable to your students.
That last part, if you have the process worked out,
Work out a way to make it understandable to your students.
right, so they know what you're doing and why you're doing it. Absolutely.
Okay.
Group, the reason that I want you to do it in this way is, remember, you, as I say, you had a whole first session about self-directed, but in order for a student to become more self-directed, they have to know what they're doing and be in control of those strategies. They need to know when to use them, when they don't work. For example, one of the strategies that people talk about is predicting. Well, using context. That's a strategy that they talk about. But if you don't have enough vocabulary or you don't know the subject, you can't do it. So people need to know when it's useful and when it's not useful. All of these strategies, and that's what we're working on. Not just you say, okay, do this, do that. No, when do you do it? What's it called? Why is it useful? When is it not useful? How are we doing?
Okay.
Any questions? Any questions? Anybody? If not, I wish you a good evening. It's just about 5 o'clock. I thank you for your participation. I hope you're getting more comfortable with what we're talking about. And I guess we're not meeting here. Everybody will be online. Okay, but I need you to think about opening up your picture so I can see you. Okay. Bye.
Okay.
Adios. Hasta luego.
Bye. See you tomorrow.
Bye. Take
Bye
care.
bye.
Hasta
See you.
mañana.
Hasta mañana.
luego. See you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. See you.
Okay. Bye. See you.
Okay. I'll be sending your document right now.
Professora Marisol,
Diga.
you hear me? Are we
Yes.
going to have, are we going to be virtually tomorrow, or you will have to attend the